Soccer 605. We're here with Coach Brock Thompson of the Brookings Watertown Select. First time that your teams have competed in State Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really the first time for for this program anyhow, with the combined select teams with the older age groups. But I think it's the first time for a Brookings team or a Watertown team to participate in State Cup, and we're excited for it. It's a really necessary step for these two communities from a development standpoint, and that's what it's really all about, is exposing players to new opportunities and taking the next step developmentally.
Yeah. Well, and your U17 girls, you just got done playing Yankton, which not that long ago were in the same position with their club program with a few teams.
Yeah, and so I think it's great to see soccer growing, and I know you and I have talked about this before. It's, the more teams that we can get exposed to State Cup, and the more teams that we can send to regional competition, whether that's President's Cup or on the regionals, the more that's just going to help soccer grow across the state.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice to have it here in Brookings. The beautiful Fishback Complex. That's a nice feather in the hat for the program, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives exposure to it. Our players can play in front of friends and family a little bit easier than if it was someplace else. It gives us a chance to show off our community. We feel we've got a really special soccer community, not just with this wonderful facility, but a number of people that support soccer, from the businesses around town and just the people in general. They do a fantastic job with all the events that we host, and so anytime we can have soccer in this community, it's a win-win for our club.
Well, now we've also heard rumors of maybe some other development going on.
Yeah, we're always working at things, and it's one of those things where, I think it's, from my own sanity standpoint, it's one of those things where it's like there's always something down the line. The biggest challenge we have is from a facility standpoint. We've got to do some things, and there's some things in the work to hopefully give us some indoor space. There's a wonderful addition going on up on campus at South Dakota State University that will impact a little bit, even if it just frees up some space where some of the SDSU sports teams practice. And so the more space that we can get, the more opportunity we have to develop players.
Yeah. Well, and the Brookings Watertown Select is just in your first year. How many teams, and what is your aspirations for the program there?
Yeah, what we do is we have 2 boys teams and 2 girls teams, U15 and U17, and that's kind of by design. It is a selection-based program and stuff, and we want to make sure that there's other programming available to players from both Brookings and Watertown should they not have the opportunity to play select. Moving into year 2, it'll be the same thing, although we're going to leave tryouts a little bit open and not predetermine the age groups that we're going to have teams. So there is a chance that we could have a third team, potentially on the boys' side, that I think has more numbers, where you may have a U15, a U16, and a U18 boys team. In the past, last year we went into it saying we're going to have a U15 team and a U17 team.
Probably left a few players on the table that way.
Yeah, and you never know how your group is going to be divided from that standpoint. And so it's really important moving forward. We're just going to, it's going to be the older age groups, anything U14 and above, and then tryouts are open, and then we'll, form teams from there. We're going to do a couple neat things with tryouts this year. We're charging a tryout fee, but we're going to have a South Dakota State athletic trainer that's going to give an injury prevention talk. And so we're really kind of trying to make our tryouts a little bit more educational. There'll be a nutritionist that will speak to the players, and just really an opportunity to provide more education, which hopefully in turn provides more development.
Now, and that's a great way to approach it, because all players need a little more education about nutrition and injury prevention and keeping themselves safe on the field. Yeah,
for sure. And especially, one of the things that we've have to kind of tackle is our players aren't used to playing in some of these events that limit substitution and limit reentry and things like that. And when you do that and when you play in those types of competitions, how you take care of your body becomes really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we've talked about that. You can be fit, but are you soccer fit?
Yeah, and our athletic trainer at SDSU phrases it this way, and our strength coaches, our players are always doing prehab. So often young players think that they do rehab after they get hurt. Well, there's so many things that you can do for ankles and knees and shoulders that prevent injuries that players should be doing instead of waiting until they're hurt and then trying to figure out how to come back from it.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, we're enjoying the Soccerfest and the State Cup here. Brookings has been a great host, and rest of the weekend has a lot of promise. Hopefully the weather will hold out.
Yeah, we're just getting started. I know a whole nother group of teams is going to be here tomorrow, and so this place should fill up, and it should be a really neat atmosphere.
Come early if you want a good parking spot.
You know it. So thanks for everything you guys do.
Thanks, Brock.
Yep.